Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mindset Monday podcast with your host, Mikey B. What's up? So I decided to take out my phone and record because I'm going for a mindful walk right now. And this is something I do on a daily basis. It's literally a daily practice that I've implemented into my life probably over the past couple of years, but I feel like I've been living mindfully for about 10 years, maybe even more. And this stuff I don't really talk about as much, but I really want to share a lot of this with you because I know people struggle with anxiety and stress and they're so busy, and I can relate to all this stuff. Like, you got so many things going on, you got a million thoughts going on, you're focused on the future and all these different goals that you have, which just causes a little more anxiety and just like this anxiousness that you have all the time, that you got to get things done and you got to be productive, and you're not really living in the moment. You're not truly at peace. Your mind is always racing. You're not calm. You're not just relaxed. And don't get confused with my deep breaths right now because I'm walking. So nonetheless, the point being is, if you struggle with any of this kind of stuff, of just kind of managing your emotions or your thoughts, I hope I can bring some high level value to you, because mindfulness is a very complex topic, believe it or not, but at the core, it's very simple. And just to quickly define what mindfulness is, so we're on the same page here, mindfulness is the awareness of the present moment. It's the awareness of your thoughts, it's the awareness of your emotions and your feelings and your actions without judgment. The key word there is without judgment. Trying to let go of that self-criticism, the inner critic, or even judging other people. It can be being mindful of others, but we're going to focus on ourselves right now when it comes to mindful walking and how you can incorporate this into your life. Because you may be thinking, dude, it's not that hard to just go for a walk. But that's the problem, where many people, they do just get caught up in life and they're living on autopilot. And they don't realize that, the smallest things of just walking to your car, walking from your car to work, the office, or your school, or when you're walking out of the grocery store to your car, or just going for a walk in nature, or whatever it is. There's so many opportunities where you can connect with the moment. And we take it for granted, and we kind of forget that a big part of life, basically the point of life, I know there's like many different purposes and beliefs and all this different stuff, but there's only one moment, and the moment is now. The future never actually comes. There is no tomorrow. There's only now. There's only the present moment. The past already happened, and it's just about living in the moment. So I want to share with you how you can actually go on a mindful walk with more intention, because it's like doing a push-up. Yes, do you know how to do push-ups? I'm sure you do, but there's different types of push-ups. There's different variations. People have different levels of expertise within their physical abilities of actually doing a push-up. Some people have terrible form. So, you can go for a mindful walk, but are you actually doing it? You can say, oh, I'm going for a mindful walk right now, but you're not actually practicing the art of mindfulness. And I think breaking down some of the science behind what mindfulness is and how you can implement this really simple, basic routine into your daily life. You can literally do it for like 3 minutes. You can just walk out of your house right now, go for a quick mindful walk, and you can find a lot of positive effects. Lower stress levels and overall life satisfaction. I can share with you some of my own personal insights. Like, when I go for mindful walks, I get very creative. I get a lot of mental energy, mental clarity, and I feel like rejuvenated. So hopefully you feel some of those benefits as well. I'm going to switch hands here because I just feel like it. So real quick, getting back on track, no pun intended, because we're walking down a path. I want to share with you a mental framework real quick before I share with you how you can actually implement mindful walking. So basically, you can break down your own psychology, your brain, and the way that you think, in just the way that your brain works, into these 4 basic domains. I talk about this in one of my online courses, the Mountain Metaphor, a little mini course. But there's 4 domains to your brain, okay? I'm not talking about neuroscience, I'm talking about psychology. You have awareness, so you have focus, what you're focused on, the attention. You have your thoughts, which are your beliefs, what you believe to be true or what you believe to not be true. You have motivation, So like the reason for why you're doing something, then you have action. So the physical behavior you're performing. And when you can think through that lens, specifically with mindfulness, it's going to help you maximize mindful walking. One of the reasons why I'm even recording this video, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, is because I went through this process and I realized some of my own mental blocks, which have been preventing me from being more consistent with social media and YouTube and things of that nature. And it's these mindfulness walks that help me get back on track. They help me reconnect with my purpose and with what I'm trying to do and my goals, and maintain a high level of happiness and fulfillment and joy and life satisfaction, regardless of the outside world, and regardless of all the noise that's going on, and regardless of all the noise that's going on in our heads, all the limiting beliefs and the self-doubts and the insecurities and the judgments and the criticism and the things that are constantly holding us back, even if we don't want to face those, and we just kind of suppress it even more, and we avoid it, and we build up this wall for ourselves, and we never had that breakthrough, and we never overcome some of these challenges because we're really just holding ourselves back, which is why mindfulness is so powerful. So what you can do for mindfulness, I'll break this down in like 60 seconds. Whew, I'm out of breath. Man, I went for like a 7-mile run or a 6-mile run yesterday. Totally fine. Yeah, I'm going for a walk. I'm out of breath. Whew. When it comes to mindful walking, there is no purpose to it. I think this is very important, and I can use a metaphor or an analogy to help you understand this concept more, but what I'm actually doing right now, there's actually no destination. I mean, yes, there's a path and there's like a start point and an end point, but that's not the purpose. That's not why I'm going for a mindful walk. It's about the process, and it's about the moment. And what I mean by that is, think about music. There's no end point to a song. And you might disagree, and you're like, well, yeah, there is. If a song is 3 minutes long, at 3 minutes, that's the end of the song. But the goal isn't to get to a certain endpoint in a song. Otherwise, you would just make a 1-second song and you'd be like, well, I won, I'm the fastest. Because it's not about speed. It's not about trying to get through the song as fast as possible. It's about enjoying the music. It's about being in rhythm. It's about being in flow. It's about experiencing the journey. Same thing with dancing. Right? Like when you're dancing, you're just vibing with the beat, you're vibing with the music, you're having fun, you're living in the moment, you're not really thinking about anything else. Because basically the point that I'm trying to make is, when you're making music, you're not necessarily doing it for a specific endpoint. It's more about the process and the creation of it all. So I'm actually at the end of the trail here, so I'm going to turn around. I feel like in a way I'm always contradicting myself. Like, oh, there's no endpoint. Like, well, yeah, there's an endpoint, but that's not the purpose. The purpose isn't the endpoint, right? There's a peak in the mountain, but that's not always the point. That's not always the purpose. It's about the journey and who you become along the mountain. It's about enjoying the experience, the journey. Anyway, so let's get to the heart of it all. How do you actually practice mindfulness walking or mindful walking? Basically, you want to go in with the intentions of feeling the different experiences around you. And what I mean by that is, I'll start with your feet. So as I'm physically walking right now, I can't really see. So as I'm walking, I can feel the ground on my feet. Even though I'm wearing shoes, I can still feel like certain rocks that are coming up. I can feel the sticks, and I can feel the impact that it's having on my legs. Then I can start moving my attention towards my calves and how do they feel. Right now I feel pretty good. I feel pretty loose. I did a little stretching this morning and I'm already kind of loose. I got into like a really good, a deep workflow state this morning, like 3 hours. I was working on my course about mindfulness, which also inspired this video too, because my course is basically done. I just need to do some back-end business stuff before I, put it out there. Nonetheless, it's not a plug or anything. So as I continue to walk, I feel my legs. I feel really good right now. Went for a run yesterday, but you work your way up to your thighs and you feel that. As that's happening, I focus on my breath. I'm not like doing it right now. This isn't me mindful walking. I'm focused more in the video. I'm just kind of explaining my experience and how I go about it. So I feel my legs and I start working my way up all the way to my body, but I feel different sensations throughout, and I'm continuously bringing my attention back to the different moments of like the cold in my face or the cold in my hands or the breath that I'm going through. And you're not supposed to be like thinking about anything, which will happen, right? Like your thoughts are going to roam. You're going to start thinking about stuff. That's going to happen. But if you take a moment and you just keep coming back to the breath as like a very basic foundational principle of mindfulness, just keep bringing it back to the breath. You know, that's an easy thing to do, because you can actually think about something if you're focused on the breath. And if you can, or if you are, then you're doing it wrong. Then you're not really focused on the breath. By definition, if you're focused on the breath, you shouldn't be thinking about anything else other than your breath. So I bring it back to my breath. If I feel like my mind is starting to wander a little bit and I'm starting to think about random things, bring it back to the breath. Then I start feeling different sensations. Well, not feeling. Then I start listening to the world around me. Like I'll listen to birds, I'll listen to the leaves, I'll listen to the trees or the wind. I may see birds flying by. They tend to like fly across the path at a low level, and also at a high level. And I'm just kind of being aware. I'm balancing, looking at the ground, looking around me, bringing it back to my feet again. Sometimes I'll just stand and feel grounded. Practice just being silent, hearing that stillness. Now I'm on a video, so I'm going to like speed it up here a little bit. I don't want to make this a super long video, but I'll do this for like anywhere from honestly like 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. I usually go for long mindful walks, and it fluctuates. There are moments where I'm like really in my zone, where I can do like a 5-minute mindfulness walk, and then there are times where I just get really creative, or I want to climb a tree, or just like whatever it is that I want to do. But I like to just take time to enjoy nature and appreciate beauty. It's actually one of my character strengths. I believe I know my top 5. It's in my top 5. I think it's number 3. My first one is a love of learning. My second one's curiosity. Then it's gratitude, creativity, and then appreciation of beauty. So those are like my 5 top character strengths. If you've ever taken that assessment, VIA Character Institute, it's a great assessment. It's a great way to really flourish in life, to focus on things that you're good at, or just the things that make you unique. And there's a ton of different like personality tests and skills and talent tests, things of that nature. I love doing all those. Whew. That's pretty much it for how I go about my mindfulness walk. And once again, you can just do this like for a couple minutes a day. If you're going for a walk with your dog, walk your dog. You don't have to put in headphones and be listening to music or a podcast or anything. And by the way, I do that too. Like I listen to audiobooks and podcasts and music, and yes, I still make music. I'm very close to finishing, like, I guess you can call it a mixtape or like a mini album, just some songs. So I don't want to put that out until I have other things ready on the back end of my business. But like, I'm very excited. Like, I got music I'm ready to release. Don't be sleeping on Mikey B, right? Like, this is a lifelong journey for me. Most people probably think I stopped rapping. Nah, like, I'm going to be rapping until I'm 80. Just because I took some time off does not mean I gave up rapping. I still do it. It's a passion. That's literally what it is. Rapping for me is a passion, and it's a way to communicate my message about what it means to live your dreams. It's about living in the moment, enjoying the journey, enjoying the process. You're going to have ups and downs. So that's a whole nother conversation about music. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, though. Hopefully I gave you some insights into what mindfulness is and how you can incorporate a daily mindfulness walk. My challenge to you is to just be, I know it's going to sound so simple, but just be more aware when you're going for a walk. Once again, it can be from like your car to the office, or your car to school, or just walking home from school. If you walk home from school, whatever it may be, just take a couple minutes to be in peace and focus on the present moment. That's what life is really about. And we get so caught up in the past, thinking about all these different things, like thinking about your day and how maybe your day was a bad day, and you start thinking about all the things that happened, and this person said this, or this person said that, or this person did this, and I feel this way, blah, blah, blah. Bring it back to the present moment. go for a walk, clear your mind, let go of these judgments, let go of these thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. That's not reality. And that's a whole nother conversation. That's some of that deeper stuff I go into in my course, which is called Mindful Living. So I'll be promoting that in the next couple of weeks and months, which is also one of the reasons why, like if you're watching this video still, thank you. Now I'll let you a little bit into my business life here, where going back to why I've been inconsistent with social media. I'll keep this quick. I'll try to keep this a minute long here. But I've realized, let's use that framework, the 4 elements of your mind, where my awareness and my attention was on, for example, cold weather. I don't really feel like recording a YouTube video because it's cold outside and I have to think about the structure. I have to think about what I'm going to say and this and that. Excuse me, I made a burp. And then you start having beliefs, these thoughts about it, like, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to be consistent on YouTube anyway. I'm just going to give up after a couple of weeks. Because I know myself, I always do that, right? Like that self-sabotaging, self-prophecy, limiting beliefs about yourself. And then you start thinking other things. Well, no one's going to watch my video. Like I have 1,000 followers. Half of them probably don't even know I exist anymore. Like I'll get like 20 views, maybe a couple likes. Like no one's even going to care about this. So that like doesn't motivate me, right? Then what's that motivation? Well, the thoughts and the beliefs are not empowering me or driving me or pulling me or motivating me to actually take action. So I don't take action because they're negative thoughts. They're not empowering positive thoughts. So if I change that thought process, which starts with awareness, so as I'm going for this walk and I'm walking around, I'm experiencing it, like this would be a good video to just talk about. Like don't overthink it. It's not like getting into this belief that everything has to be perfect. I have to have the perfect background. I have to have the perfect thumbnail, the title. I have to have all my hashtags figured out. I have to know what the video structure is. It has to be good, and all these other stupid thoughts that aren't empowering. Just, you're overthinking it. And my motivation is greater. My motivation is to, honestly, it's just to be creative. I just like to be creative. I like to create things. I just hate the pressure of having to compete with the algorithm, quote unquote. I'm like, I got to make sure I'm doing it this way or this way. And that's my own, once again, that's my own thoughts. Those are my own beliefs holding me back. I don't have to do that. I don't need to be on social media. I don't need to be starting a business. I don't need to be posting content. I don't need to be doing any of that. But I want to, because I have a bigger purpose. I know that I have a gift and I have wisdom and knowledge that I want to share with the world to help them along their journey, to help them along their path, to help them live their dreams. And I know that I have that purpose, and I would be doing a disservice if I didn't share that gift with other people. So when I start thinking about my real motivations for doing things, I'm way more likely to take action, take out my phone and record a video, because I'm reconnecting with my purpose, reconnecting with these more empowering thoughts. And I'm focusing my awareness and my attention on the positive versus the negative. And when you can do that more consistently, when you're aware of that framework, when you make mindfulness a way of life, hence the word mindful living, the words mindful living, then you start living in better alignment with what you actually want to do. Like this is the path. The path represents your values in life. What do you value? I value creativity. So just go create, Mike. Why are you holding yourself back? Right? So that was my own little awakening that I had recently, because I'm always inconsistent with social media. You got Instagram, you got YouTube, you got a podcast, you got LinkedIn, you got TikTok, you got all these different things. And I know there's strategies to maximize productivity, to do content batching and all this stuff. Once again, these are beliefs that I'm continuously to work on. Like, I don't have the time. There is some truth in that, a little bit, right? Like you got a full-time job. I'm coaching sports as well as life coaching. And, there's just other responsibilities in my life. So time is limited. And with that, you can only focus on so many things, right? Like I'm trying to create an online course. I'm trying to work on my public speaking business. I'm trying to promote my coaching business. Like, all these different things that you're trying to do, you're just drowning yourself in more chaos, right? So that's one of the things that I'm personally struggling with. That's what mindfulness does for me, helping me stay calm in the storm. Even though I got all these things surrounding me, which is a whole different issue. That's more about just like productivity and making a commitment to like one thing and not trying to do, not trying to juggle 20 things at once. That's just bad strategy. But nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Feel free to leave a comment below letting me know what you think about it. I will do my best to create more videos such as this that are more in the moment, more spontaneous, and I look forward to talking with you in the next video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Peace.